Everybody, happy Tuesday. 30 minutes of awesome coming at you, hot and heavy. Welcome to the show. We've got unemployment numbers scheduled for Friday, but asterisk on the play. If the government shuts down tonight at midnight, well, BLS said they're not going to do anything if the government still shut down on Friday. So I guess we'll see. We shall see. Earnings blackout kind of in big full swing as we head into October tomorrow. And as always, we'll do 30 minutes of your requests. And all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Some of you don't understand that. We'll talk more about that in a second. But past performance, not always necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying or selling any stock. Forex, future, crypto, treasury, bond, option, you name it, you trade it, you might lose money. And if you desire personal financial advice, hire and consult a financial advisor. I'm going to play one on YouTube. I don't play one on TV. I don't pretend to be a financial advisor. I don't manage money for other people that aren't my family. Be careful. You might lose some dollars. So, there you go. It's kind of the way it rolls. So, thinking about it, government shutdown. I posted this just a little bit ago. Then I just clicked it away. Awesome. Let me pull this up. Over the past 3 years, over the past three government shutdowns, the S&P, SPY in particular, gained an average of 3.5%. So much for the bearish theory, at least lately. We'll see if that holds true or not. All right. Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. Correlate when they're correlated, not when they're not. Doesn't always mean, government shutdowns don't always mean bad things. Doesn't always mean good things. So we'll see what happens. Trump shut down the government before over the border wall thing. So this is different, but it's more the same. Economy has nothing to do with the government. Well, it shouldn't, except for the government spending that spent all the growth, but who's counting that anyway? And then the stock market's not the economy. So, with the good comes the bad, bad comes the good. We'll see what actually happens. I don't really see much cooking. Tesla. Last day. You got hours. If you need an EV and you want that tax credit, you got hours left to pop on the app, put down your down payment, secure your delivery. You don't even have to take delivery. You just have to secure the contract before midnight tonight. Of course, you could do it with anybody else, but Tesla's the only one I know that does it all in the app, and no big deal. So, there you go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And delivery numbers should be out by Friday, unless something crazy happens. It'll be early next week. There were still tons of contracts flying today. Just ridiculous numbers of contracts all over the place flying out there. Looking for this to go as high as 5. There were 500 strike calls getting bought for this week. It's going to take a ridiculous move for that to pay out, because it's not just going to 500 to pay out. It has to go higher than 500 to pay out. Let me flip back over to the options chain. Yes, I still have a position sitting here way in the money. Still hadn't hit my profit target. But you roll on down here at 500. And let's just flip this to volume. Where is volume? Here it is. Volume for the day. Look at that. 17,000 contracts. So it's going to have to go above 501 basically for those to pay out. Like, well, that's a lotto play. Is it though? I mean, and there were 22,000 open. So if this grows, if this number tomorrow is 39,000, that means all those were opening contracts. I mean, some of them may be closing contracts, but you know, that's just crazy. And it's wild because that's 2 standard deviations right there. That's 1 standard deviation. That's how much craziness we're expecting. That's 2 standard deviations right there. Wild. So that's the range. 2 standard deviation range. Down to 385, up to 505. Wow. And that's just in 3 days. That's the expected move in 3 freaking days. Can't even believe that. That's just the options. I mean, that's what's priced into the options market right there. Oh yeah, 51,000 contracts right there at 450. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money on a contract that costs that much money. $8. Every one of those contracts was transacting for like $8, $9 right there. That would take a move to 460 just to be profitable in 3 days. I mean, there's some crazy stuff in this. It's unbelievable the volume of money flowing in these calls. Just unbelievable to me. And I mean, that's just absolute wild. I meant to right click, not left click. You can see that somebody bought a chunk of 25,000 right there. Let's flip this back to low time frame, 5 minute. Yeah, look at that. That was probably one single 8,000 contract order. Oh wait, is it 4,000 or 8,000? Yeah, 8,000. 8,651. So probably 8,000 plus a couple of their orders right there. That's just wild. Insane volume. So obviously people are pushing in and out, but and that's just one option contract for 3 days. That's only valid for 3 more days. Golly. Nuts. I just can't believe it. I sold a 510, or was it 5? I think I sold a 515 call for this week against 500 shares my dad has. You know, I managed money for my dad. We bought those shares for 300 right down here in the chop down here. Bottom down here. I was selling for 515. I mean, that's a pretty good trade. Made $200 a share plus. I was showing my dad we've already booked over $3,000 of option premium, just selling calls against those right there. You know, what do they know? This is a lot of like, I don't think they know anything. I think it's a lot of speculation on top of some people that might know something, but you know, the things I do know, sales are running hot. The Texas factory has 24-hour delivery right now, up through midnight tonight. 24-hour delivery. They'll come pick you up in a robo-taxi and take you to the factory so you can pick up your Tesla by midnight tonight. That's crazy. What other company do you know is doing that right now? Going to pick you up so you can buy your car at the factory. So crazy stuff right there. As I just thought I'd pointed that out. I've been pretty aggressively acquiring some of this because if Tesla pops to 550, just take a look at it really quickly. If we popped up to the 550 target from where we are, 25-ish% upside. So TSLL, 2x leverage, 25% upside on the underlying with the 2x leverage. Becomes a 50% upside just to go to 550. 50% from here puts you at 30. That's not a bad shake right there. I have thousands of shares of this. 50% upside, not bad. Also pays a dividend, not a spectacular dividend, but it does pay a dividend. It's like 1.9%. That's better than the management fee down here. Expense ratio 0.95%. So they at least cover the expense ratio. Then you can sell upside. The thing that got me bullish, the thing that was more bullish than any of those contracts, the thing that got my attention, I sold back here. I was accumulating shares in here, selling puts. I sold some upside calls, and they went in the money on that pop, but they were out 2 weeks. They were out into October. They got called 2 weeks early last week. That got me super bullish. Why would they call a leveraged instrument, shares of a leveraged instrument, early? Something's going on. Something's up. So this is short-lived. I'm not long-term. Yeah, the chart's pretty bullish, but we're gonna meet one of these targets, and then we're gonna chill out and relax for a little while and give some opportunity to generate a bunch of premium before we go higher again. So pullback will be in the cards, just from where. And I don't really want to ride another one of those with the TSLL because that ate a lot of value. And while this is sitting right up here, TSLL is not nearly that high. We're still sitting down here a bit lower. Tesla is sitting up here at this fib level, while TSLL is still down here. And you may be like, well, it'll catch up. It's not going to catch up. It's always going to lag behind. The proof in the pudding. NVIDIA right here. And we're going to add on NVIDIA. And there's other ones of these. Now it has a 2x leverage, but let's pull this back to the drop here. So we pull it back just to the drop from the top we had right over here. NVDL outperformed on the downside because of leverage. You see we recovered here. We're just barely catching up performance-wise. It's not doing the 2x outperformance. Now, if you line up the bottom, yeah, we're getting the outperformance. But it's still not quite perfect. 113, 216. Not quite the 2x. It's close, but not quite. And it didn't really start outperforming on the first move. So, long-term hold, you got to be careful. One of these big dips takes a lot to catch back up. You can see, when I adjust where we line up, it's actually lagging. It's not even meeting the performance of the underlying. So these big pullbacks are detrimental to these leveraged instruments. So be careful when you're doing this. If you're going to hold these, try not to hold through a pullback. We look at Tesla and we add on TSLL. line up the peak back here. You can see underperformance. Right there. Now, if you line up the bottoms, this is one reason I was aggressively selling on every dip on TSLL. The performance here has just completely smoked right here. It's actually doing a little better than a 2x performance. That's why I was acquiring and selling premium on every one of these dips. And then I was aggressively acquiring here because we pop it, can severely outperform. So best time to acquire the leverage tickers is when we're beat down, not when we're at the top. That's the lesson here. Now another one, I didn't get to go through the list this morning. This one showed up as a potential entry right here. Could be a smart play right here if we're going to launch off. Remember, don't sit through the pullbacks. Possibly already bought them. Might see some chop in here. Might be opportunity to build a position in this one. Doesn't quite have the beta that TSLA has, but 2.74, not bad. Not a bad shake. If HIMS is actually going to take another run, which looks like it might. Got the setup for it. It'd be a 26% upside potential right here. AMZN. Be like a 74 or 52% upside. So we're only looking for something like that, 34. It's not even breaking out the new highs, but HIMS would be up here at new highs. 26.74. So this pullback pretty detrimental to HIMZ. That 50% upside, not bad. Make some money on that. And then if HIMS actually, broke out, made a bigger run, possibly some ridiculous targets. It's got the wind up for it. Maybe like, what kind of wind up does it have? That low, that high, this low, that right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, deep 4, 5. Wave 2, bottoms in the vicinity of the 4. Wave 3, could potentially put it up here. Holy bananas, that's a lot more. I know. That's why it's interesting. Go from here to here. That's 100% upside. HIMZ. 100% times 2. It's a 200% upside. Potential for that to go to roughly 68. Not a bad shake right there. So nice potential. Would I put a lot of money on it right now? Nope. That's what kind of potential we have if it plays out. So let me know in the chat if you found that beneficial, helpful. That was one I saw yesterday show up on here. Meant to talk about it this morning. Ran out of time. I do apologize. Had to go beyond the roundtable thing they were doing. The other big trade I was talking about this morning, VIX, we saw $2 million 32. Got my alert set up there, 32. $12 million at 32 strike out to November. I did pick up some UVXY. I did go at the 14 strike. Talked about it on that panel, roundtable, opening playbook thing. 14 strike. 14 strike calls October 24. Paid roughly, I think I paid 53 cents, but roughly 50 cents. Some people got filled cheaper. Great work. I had things going on. Look at that volatility curve. Holy nuts. 171% out for 1 year. That's one of those where, why did I play where I played? It's kind of the cheap spot as far as it goes. The big chunk of VIX that I saw fly through, I can pull this back over. I actually have a trading platform loaded up today. So I watched it go through in 2 big chunks. It's right here, 32. I don't have my drawing tool. That chunk, 155,000 contracts. Think about that a minute. 155,000 contracts. And there's the order. One big crazy candle right there. 142,000 in one order. I think the other order was right beside it with a smaller chunk to fill it out, like 8,000 contracts or whatever. Craziness. It's $12 million somebody spent on calls. And it's not like they're just a little out of the money. They're a lot out of the money. They're up here. 32. So look at this. Well, that was 32 on VIX, not UVXY. 32 on VIX up here. Right up here. This traded at 16. So that represents a 95%, almost 100% upside right there. Back to UVXY. Remember, 100% upside. Ultra means 2x leverage. In case you didn't know, that word right there means 2x on VIX. So let's just call it 100% upside. 95 and change is close enough. 2 times it's 200%. All right, 200% upside. Pick your target right there. If we just hit that, if we just hit 32, right? And that person's not going to make you money if we just hit 32. They're banking on it going higher than that. So that just happens to be like 31, 32. Why the 14? Well, if we go 14 to 30, if we just went to 30, that'd be 16 bucks in the money. If I spent 50 cents, that means I spent 15. That's basically 15.50 profit per contract. Right there. With a 50-cent cost, that's like a 32x return. Now, is this like put a bunch of money on it? No, don't put a bunch of money on this. For gosh sakes. Don't put a bunch of money on this. It's one of those limited time opportunities. Like, maybe it pays out, maybe it doesn't. Now, one of the keys here, don't bet all your money on it. Just put some of it. Because if it doesn't pay out by October, play again for November. Remember that 1 month, the cost of going out 2 months is a lot more because the IV ramps right here. Playing 2 months out, you might be like, well, it's probably cheaper to play 2 months out. It costs more than $1 to go 2 months out. More than $1 more. I'm going to fly out here. November. Same 14 strike. Going for over $1. Look at that. Go all the way to 27. Still not down to 50 cents. It's crazy. Pricing out a volatility event in November right now. Now these should, by the time these are out, by the time we go from here to here, these will have lost a significant amount of money, and you can play out again. And still, if you just put, part of your money on this one, doesn't pay, jump out, part of your money here, something that's paying 34, 32x return, Even if you have to do it twice, you still pay for both of those and still have money that you made. So play it smart. There you go. There you go. All right. Buyback blackout. Things are probably going to be a little benign, a little slow on the buybacks, especially in the big dogs, till we get through earnings. Yeah, Tesla, the earnings are a little bit of a, like some platforms are saying the 22nd, some are saying the 15th. Not sure which one it's going to be. You can jump over to Tasty Trade, go back to the option chart. It says the 22nd right there. So 15, 22nd, I don't know. And look at the option term structure here. That's interesting. Yeah, they'll have 1 week, 2 weeks, and 1 month. So certainly by a month, there's the no earnings priced into that one. Crazy high IV priced here. 2 weeks out, abysmal. And then a month out, they've got the earnings priced in there, and then it ramps back down. So craziness. Anyway, I guess we're at the point of the show where we can do requests. So please type in all capitals. If you're a channel member, unlimited requests. If you're not a channel member, you get 3 requests. 1 request per person per time you ask for something. Please use capitals. Please use a ticker I can type in to TradingView. And I'll do my best to hit everybody. And if you're just a regular subscriber, after I get done with all the channel members, I'll circle back around. So hang out, stay tuned. I'll come back for you. And before I hit that, though, I had to talk about one more thing. DocU did take a hit. I know it was down like $10 a share. Sucks. I have 300 shares. That's $3,000 that vaporized off of here. It's still above where it was back here in August. I got put this, for anybody that doesn't know, I got put at 79 back here on the initial drop or wherever it was. Wherever I got put, right here, I guess it was in July. Been riding it, and I'm back to scratch. It's tough. I mean, that's just, can't win them all. But not really down and out. I'm just back to break even, basically. Been selling credit. And basically that just put my, I'm at 79, but I've taken in credit. So I'm all the way down here at 72, 73, right in that vicinity. So I've taken in like quite a few dollars in credit, right? $7 in credit. $6, $7 in credit. And I'm still going to be selling upside stuff. I actually rolled this. I closed out my 84s for this week, rolled them down to 79s, and sold it for this week. Bringing a little extra scratch. So that'll show up on K-Info tomorrow. Tonight, I guess. So just addressing that, I'll circle back up. So that's all I got to say. Like, we did a 618 retrace. If we hold in this vicinity, probably going to pop. And we're just right into 618 retrace. Not, what am I worried about? I'm not. We could go visit 62. That's A-okay with me. Like, we can come on down here. Wouldn't be the first one that went against me. Chipotle is still being sucky. Hasn't necessarily found the bottom yet. So still waiting on this one. All right. Celsius. Still got the upside. I'm not touching it unless we get a pullback to the roadmap line. But there's the upside. Still the same target we've had since back here when I was trading it in November, December, January, February, March, April. Traded this all through here. And when I got called out in May, June, whatever it was, haven't touched it again. It's been great for people that held on. So, God, you know, even though it says the beta is low, it pays pretty darn good premium. So, all right, Zoom, just chopping in here. If, you know, we did hit the first target right there, pulling back, got below the breakouts, can come back to the roadmap line very easily. That's support. We hold it, we go up again, just be another roadmap bounce from there. It'd be this high, this low, and basically put us up where the 1272 is, and then 1618 above that. Normal kind of bounce pattern. AA coming your way. So we're in this no man's land here. We're below this resistance, above this support, in kind of a zone. If we break up, we can come up here. If we break down, we can go all the way back down to a lower low. That concerns me a little bit. So I'm not as bullish as I was last earnings back here. Last earnings, I was pretty confident we'd bust through, but we haven't really shown much enthusiasm for going higher. You know, this last earnings, we had room to the 618. This earnings, we didn't leave much room. That can result in a bigger swing lower. And the beta here is 1.7. So fair amount of premium available, but just not what I want to get involved in right now. Look back that way. Haven't really done anything in 2 years. So hard pass, but if we can break through that 35 area, 53 could be the upside for Alcoa. TBTH. TBTH. Yeah. I don't know what you were trying to ask for. TPLT. Rock and roll. Still hunting that 160 targets. Like, this was beautiful, right? There's the pullback. Oh, struggle. Pop through. Confirm the trade right there. Right to the target. Pulled back. Retested the breakouts. Right there. Now we're going for extensions. 160. That's it. I didn't trade it because I have other opportunities I'm cooking on, but, you know, I've been all over that one. Marvell. Clean sheet. Resistance at the... If you can't see it, there's a giant gap down right there. That provides resistance, and guess what? Happens to just be right there. At the top of the gap is the 618. Right now, that's not exactly the most bullish pattern. If this gets continuation, that was the first move down. New trend, retrace, lower high, continuation, lower low. That's the caution. Could return to the lows. Now, if we can get through the resistance, upside target, 148. That's a big range. That's a 100-point range. Soundhound. What you want to know? I mean, it's just a roadmap bounce. Pulling back a little bit. Target's 30. Easy peasy. Hood. There's the where we scratched the resistance today. Be careful. Couldn't go higher? Sure. Is it potentially going to top out right here around 145? Been warning about this for a couple months. It has done 50% pullbacks several times in this rally. This would not be unusual for it to do another one of these big pullbacks. Once again, Retest the breakout down around 75. Be careful. Where did this right here was that move copied, which is almost that move copied. See how this is very congruent? Looks the same. Looks the same. This looks the same, as the same, as the same. That and that. Be careful. This is echo trades right here. This is the thing this is the pattern that made me a guru. Right here. Upside runs, pullbacks, same size. Watch out for that pullback. Does it have to happen? No. But when I see it occur once, twice, three, what makes me think it won't happen a fourth time? Just because other people are like, nah, this thing's super bullish, blah, 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 blah. It's usually when we get a big pullback. Careful. Fade me at your own risk. And RTX ripping. We got upside targets further up. Let's put a little magic. So we're coming up into that 200%. But the next fib line's up 176, 189, right above that. I don't see any reason why that can't just rock and roll. You look at this last move, that was a lot longer than the current move here. This big move, why am I not like thinking it's gonna stop here? Because look how big that move was. And this pullback was much bigger than this, these little baby pullbacks here. So this can still keep on trucking. Different thing. SMR. So nothing really changed here. We did glance off of the resistance zone. If we break back below the roadmap line, it's going down for a lower low, which may or may not matter. Depends. A lot of people play options, so this would matter option wise. Like you're like, oh man, I'm underwater. It's kind of sucking. But first move down. A, B, C continuation right down there. But then it might come on up here. So that would move that point over here. And then we'd have a bigger upside target. See what cooks. You can see this one was pretty big too. And just comparing that right there. See, that could take us down to a 618, 19. Started out a lot the same too. People are like, nah, it's not, it's going higher. And then right down in there. It could be right down in there. Be careful. Careful out there, SCI. Just a reminder, I'm hitting on the channel members first. I'll circle back around and pick up any subscribers that are just on the channel. So if your name's in green, that means you support me and my family on YouTube. I do appreciate it. I do YouTube on my own, unsupported by the publisher. So there's the bounce. There's the entry. Here's the target. 75% likely to hit that 1448 level at 249. Can it fail? You betcha. Dollar below the low. It's down around 197. Would be a fail. That's what we got cooking. Now the caution here. Thing that concerns me is that turned down at a proportion where this looks like an A, B, C, and C equals 1.272 times A. That is a common corrective proportion where this would be a bigger A, a bigger B, and then continuation is down here for a bigger C. I can just make these out when I see them on the chart. And that, like, after doing this for as many years as I have, that target would be down here. Right there. When I see this structure right here that looks like that, and then we turn down violently. So we're going to have to break through that roadmap line, and then that's the downside down there. Back down to 180s. I'd be like, no way. It's not going down 40 bucks. It's okay. RKT. This one may have topped out. So I'm not keen on, you see this pullback right here overlapped all of these highs, and there's not really a 4 that could be matched up with a 1 that doesn't overlap. So all the pullbacks in here, all the major pullbacks so far have been overlapping all the prior price action. That's not bullish. That's not the way bullish trends work. Now, if that was the A wave and that's the B wave, that topped out at what could be a bullish move, but it looks more like that, and we may come back up here and still make a lower high at 36 area. That would be all of the A wave, this would be the B wave, and this would be the C wave, and this would be potentially the bigger A down, B up, and we got a bigger, even bigger C down here out in time. Back down to a low lower than that. So no clear trend right now. It can do whatever it wants to do. There's no, this is just a predictive, trying to predict the highest probability outcome, and doesn't always work. Rect is short crypto. It's going down. Probably bust on down here. Extensions 15 and 13 below that. So if crypto is going to drop out now, like if we're in crypto winter, this might bottom here and go higher. But right now, I expect this to keep continuing down until we prove that crypto has indeed turned. I'm not buying it at this point. Not yet. Rio. Move up, retrace, bounced off the roadmap line, busted through the roadmap line, blurred up the roadmap line, starting to move up above it. Not the cleanest price action. All the pullbacks overlap. Highs so far. That's nasty price action. So this is looking like this was an A. 3 down for an A. That combined with a weird triangle thing. That would be another A, smaller degree, B, smaller degree. Work on a C, some sort, smaller degree. Still maintain a lower high, and then we do some sort of big flush out here. That's what it looks like. That's what that looks like. Could it be something different? Sure. Always. GME, man. Talk about a stock that goes nowhere. Could we pop another high? Sure. There's the high. Here's the low. Big gap down. That's a lot of resistance. Psychological nastiness. Gonna have to clear 29.50 to indicate 38. Still not a big trend. And bigger picture, the trend is clearly lower. Lots of people like to hope and dream. Could it pop out? Could we have that 1, 2, 3? It's possible, but possible. Lower high would be. We've already got 2 highs in the card, so busting through would be a big psychological thing. Probably run out of steam somewhere on 90 and come back down. Not very optimistic on that. Just busting out and running right now. Affirm. So we hit the target. Here's the pullback, the roadmap bounce. There's the extension. The entry was right there back in June. There was the target at 94, 81, right there. Pulling back to the roadmap line. If we can hold it, go again. Won't be, I mean, it could do as big a pullback, but let's see what this one, that one size-wise, we could be in store for another pullback. Take us down to 42. It's just copying those 2 pullbacks right there. That repeated. We'll repeat again. Roughly down to there. And set us up for a bigger pop. Yeah. 112, 124, but take a pullback to 42 first. Yeah. Gnarly. Gnarly, man. All right. Yeah. Rolled the chat. Hey, Wrongamer. Wrongamer, Resi. So, I got nothing. There's no pullbacks off of that. Got nothing in the short term. Bigger picture, let's try to figure out where it might go. It's going to be ridiculous. Crazy potential. So we're at 43. And just a corrective move up. A, B, C. We'll put us here. If it does crazier stuff, a wave 3 puts it up here. Because the only difference in an A, B, C stops here. A 3 stops up here. Well, if you're long, good luck. On the short term, I can't really help you much because we'll probably stall out somewhere. Do a correct. Like, this is not going to happen fast, more than likely. It's just not likely. I mean, especially with the history of large swift pullbacks. We may extend this on up a bit further. Any pullback you see, you want to keep above this level, though. Right in there, that high. If we start overlapping that, not good. At least not until we get a further move up. We could come back. And yeah, I still don't really want to overlap this stuff right there. Don't really want to see it back below that if we're going to get on up here. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Moving on. XLE. Brr, my stomach says brr. And golly, what a gnarly. You see that gnarly price action right there? It's like, that's all corrective. And this coming out of it, not much better so far. cautious. And look at all those tops. Holy moly. See how these tops right here? Look, comes all the way back over here. Huh. Keeps going. Hey, there's a flip point in that chart. That's why I call it flip point. My buddy long ago that told me seat time, watching price action. You see how all these hit right there? Hit that same level. 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 The flip point. When price gets above it and can back test it and stay above it, it flips. Unlikely to come back below that for a long time. And there's other flip points in the chart, like down in here where other highs and lows were. Another one right there. See how high there. These lows in here. Low here, low here, low here. And then we broke through and back tested it. Now we need to break through this one and back test it. Be a flip point. It's been attacked for 3 years, basically. So if we break through that, likely to get continuation. 103, 106, 118 on the upside there. Hood, already talked about WRB. So here's the pullback. Move up, retrace. Now this price action looks better and likely to get some continuation, maybe not without a pullback up into this 89 area. We get 1, 2, 3, probably get a 4, and then a 5 matching the 1. Right there for WRB. LYTS. Topping out. Watch out for that prior high. If we can get the bust out through it. 27 and 30. Urban. Probably coming back down the roadmap line. We missed down here. So far, we're staying below the 618. We have first move down, retrace, second move down. Probably put us down here around 60. My gap fill that back over here. Well, I thought you were bullish and you sold puts. And yeah, I did that and moved on. It dropped and got close to my put, so I moved on. Like, it didn't have to take the shares, made some money. Now, in light of the drop and more consolidation in that zone, I don't really want to own it right now. If we make this move, maybe I'd be interested. We'll see. LTB Lake Bridge. So one thing I don't care for right now, the way that and that overlap, that and that overlap, that overlap. Yeah. So just zooming out a little bit, this is what I see right here. That low, this move, and we're coming into that A equals C resistance, trend, clearly down, 3-wave retrace, continuation, and 0 is not far away. It's got a reverse split in here. Does. So this is garbage. Don't trade this stuff. Absolute garbage. Don't trade this. It had all the Turnmire fire. There's the proof right there. This company doesn't know how to manage their share price. I'm surprised there's not another one in here. Oh, there's another one. They've reverse split more than once. Garbage. Don't trade that stuff. There's so many other things you can trade just without trading garbage. It's a garbage company. At least garbagely managed company. I.e. what did I see? Saw something when I flipped through there. So lowest low. None of that stuff before that worked. So if it's just a correction, ABC up. Resistance is right here. Potential to come up that high, but it can stall out anywhere above that high and still resume the trend down. Trend was down into this low. Right, that's the lowest low. IPO'd over here and proceeded to go down. That's a downtrend. Got this start point. That point, that's down. This can just be a correction. We don't know where this was up here. It could have been coming down from higher. So this can be a correction and still go lower. So we prove that we're going higher by doing bullish things. Right now, that's all we got to work with. Just one move up, one pull back. Doesn't tell me anything. There's no established long-term trend right there. IAG. Yeah, go. I'm a gold. So gold's pretty much ripping. There you go. Next upside, maybe 13. I'm taking it easy. I made quite a few $1,000 for my mom. Quite a few. Over 20,000, 24,000, 25,000. I don't know, 20 something $1,000 for my mom on gold this year. Trading the miners, and I'm just kind of like, this move right here is too exponential for me. Just chilled out right now. So TLT has the potential to break down. So we're either about to pop, but more than likely we're gonna drop. And this got really darn close. This looks like we're in a trend. This is gonna pop lower than this low. Over here. See that 3-wave up? This is what I was talking about. This move up. A, B, C. Trend was down into it. That's a correction. Trend resumes. How long? I don't know. We could, this thing can drag out for another couple of years before we get down there. That's the way, it looks like. Tempest AI. Market's back open. I'm just clean sheeting all the charts today. Upside 104, 117. Potential for this to be a bigger go. If this is actually a bullish move in here, which it looks like. So even if it's just A, B, C, that puts us here. And if it's a 3, it puts us up here. So that's a 1. That's a 2. And a 3. Talking about move up there. Ooh, yeah. I've been selling puts like crazy on this one in the last couple weeks. And the premium is juicy because the beta is ridiculous at 3.2. And this right here, the 1 week, look at the 1 week volatility compared to 2 weeks or even 1 month out. Way down here, you make much more money selling 1 week out over and over and over than you can going out a week or 2 weeks or a month. You'd be like, I don't want to be that active in it. Well, tough nuggets. Don't trade this. So 75% volatility here, drop down to 70%, 70, right around 70% here. So get the extra juice by trading 1 week out. I actually rolled it from last Friday to this Friday. I had sold last Friday's, the September 26th. I bought that back and sold the same strike for this Friday and collected $2 more. That's how much juice was in this. $2 per contract. That's crazy. That is crazy money right there. EWZ. So in case anybody didn't know, primarily JT sells I sell a lot of premium. Right? I just clicked on the 1 year. So year to date, I'm up $26,000 because I funded this account April 15 and made this much money so far. This is verified, public. All the trades are public right here. They don't post to the public until they're closed. So you can't shadow trade. This was selling puts right there. Is DLTR down a little bit today? Yeah. Docu, I was selling calls for good and premium. And it took a $10 drop. But I booked out the calls I sold for this week. Those will show up tomorrow. Like a $300 profit. And then I sold more for this Friday. So add some gravy. If we jump in here. I'm on a sidetrack. Got sidetracked for a second. Ports. Where is it? I moved it, changed this. That's cool. Symbols. Cool. Nothing to load. Symbols. There we go. You see Docu in here. I had basically $1,700 in book profit already in the kitty right there. Got 300 shares. So that's like almost $6 a share off the 79. So that puts me down there right near 73. And that doesn't even count the profit I booked today, which is another $300. So it's getting closer to $2,100. That's like $7 a share. That's what I was saying, down around 72. That's my cost. You just got to keep working them. See, I'm upside down. And DJT, I've got 1,200 shares, and it's like down from where I got put, but I got $2,700 in book profit already. And Docu is the most traded ticker I've had right now, followed by DJT. Rocket Lab, close in behind it. Rocket Lab was a big winner. Stock ran. So, you can say I got lucky, but just keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over. So anyway, EWZ, I made a bunch of money in COVID. Watch out. Might have topped out here. Might get a pullback. Could it go on higher? Sure. Could. Anything can do anything. We're at the 618. We're in that kind of resistance zone. We might expect another pullback. If we do that and hold the roadmap line, then I might be more bullish on a pop up into the 30s. My target would be somewhere around 37 probably. There you go. That's EWZ for you. DJT. Speaking of DJT, it's just sitting here. Slightly higher lows. Still got lower highs. We're right on a room here. It's got 3 potentials. Pop up here, break down, come back to the low, or just keep sitting. It can just keep sitting. Like, it can do anything it wants to do. Like, it's not like a person, but it kind of is with all the people that trade it and the human sentiment factor in here. We're just kind of sitting at this support zone before it went a little crazy back here. Just brought it back over into that zone, and we're just kind of hanging. Now, the premium is evaporating a little bit because the beta is dropping back off. We were pretty high, upwards around 3. Now we're dropping back down because things are chilling out. I'll probably bail if we get a pop to the roadmap line. I've got 19 sold against it right now. Probably sell 19s again. Keep rolling at 19. It might get called out, but I've got a bunch of book profit sitting there. CRTO. Downtrend. Got no reason to believe that's done. On the downside, how low could she go? Just show you. Back down to 13. SLV. Let's go to the SI. 1 exclamation points. Big picture. This is what we're cooking with. Everybody says it's broken out, but it hadn't broken out. Here's the breakout. There's the resistance. We're coming up on it. We might pull back before we can actually break out. Upside target. For all those people that were doubting me, I said silver is probably the biggest trade, biggest opportunity coming in 2025. How many people remember that in 2024? I said that a lot of times, especially early, even into early 2025. Silver's probably the biggest trade, biggest opportunity. Buy some AGQ. Well, times come. Might be a good opportunity to start booking or protecting. Pullback might come. Doesn't have to come, but there you go. There you go. All right. AVGO. Probably coming back down to the roadmap line. I know my buddy Jack on on Market Masters did not like me to say that we might come back right down here. 270 right there. Let's see. Oh, that's a downtrend. Yep. So first move down. Funny enough, that's a 1, 2, 3. That's the retrace. And we're hunting for the bottom down here. Yep. Cisco, you'd be like, well, that looks obvious. Yeah, sometimes they do. Sometimes it doesn't. Cisco, guess what? Here was the pullback. There was the entry. There was the first target. We consolidated. Popped the second target right there. Now we're back to testing the breakouts. We roll back in here. Can go deeper. As long as we hold that, we could pop the next upside target 77. But if we start down in here, there's support and then potential to go deeper. TBPH. got nothing. Nasty price action. I don't like it. MP. Watch for the retrace. And Live Nation. Yeah, that for getting in a lawsuit and all that stuff. I was like, you know, this thing kicked off the pattern back here. I remember this last year. It's like 138, 151. Now we've hit those and retested the breakouts. Next target right there, 190. Even higher, 244. And core weave. So maybe this thing can go higher. Like maybe it bucks the trend. Maybe. It's possible. I mean, we did make a lower low than the IPO. Like IPO'd here, we made a lower low. There's the possibility. I think it's trying to break out of that downtrend of highs. It's trying. Reject it over here and then pop today. We can stick this breakout. We might have the unique opportunity to actually rocket this one higher. I would guess something up here around 440 at the moment. This may be one of the 5%ers that doesn't do the corrective pattern. Now, we get below here, watch out for that. So there's the kind of line in the sand here. 85, 84, 85, you know, this low. We can get below that, watch out for this. Come back. As long as we can stay out of that breakout, as long as we can maintain that, could be something up here at 400. But I need to see continuation above that high. Staying under that high puts this low down here. I'd be cautious. The longer we hang out down in here, closer we get to that, I'd be cautious. Because that can result in that. Break up through up here. Even though we don't have any roadmap line. I see we're hanging right at that 618. So if we break through there, some upside targets, 209, 232, and that 400 up there. We may ping pong like this up in there. If we're going to be bullish. A little bit of a dice roll. Alrighty. That was the bottom of the channel members. Thanks for coming, everybody. We'll circle back around and pick up the subscribers if you're still here. Thanks for waiting. Consider being a channel member. You can get priority access on your requests. And back up to the top, we've got Mountain Dale Resorts. Didn't break out. Turned down violently. That's nasty. Probably coming back to the lows. Ugh. Made a valiant effort, too. That looked like a great reversal. Man, what a bummer. That looks so good coming up here. We got the last line of support down at 138 and maybe come on down to 120 on the downside. Bummer. Let's see, Prim. And it got no target. No alibi. 168 may retrace, retest the breakout before we go higher to 173. And Wabash and Lake. So we're still working on trying to break out, return to the 618 and the roadmap line. Working on it. That 220 still the target. 230 above that for WOB. UWMC. It's a low price stuff. Low price stuff does not always follow the patterns. I watch out for resistance here. And we didn't have a long history. You pop up here and still go lower low than this low back here at 2. Low confidence in this doing anything. Not the kind of thing. My patterns work better when there's a lot of players in the game. A lot of players in the game are typically in stuff over 20 bucks. Not so much in stuff under 20 bucks. So DKNG. So that's a lower high. Out of proportion, they can take it down further. Be careful. That could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not cool. Oracle. Probably coming back. That was just an insane move right there. 40% on a $200 company was just an insane move, and this may bleed back down until we fill this gap. Move over, butter. Still 200 target. I've not changed my target. Still the same target I've had for more than a year now. Still the same. Agi. AI General Intelligence. Coming up into resistance 36. BitX is just leveraged Bitcoin. So we can't really have this conversation without looking at the upside and the downside. So if Bitcoin can break out of the current funk, we're going to downtrend here. If we can break out, there is potential, possibly, maybe 150. Let's just go conservative right now. 150. I've said 150 for a long time. 40% upside. So BitX, 2x leverage on Bitcoin. 40% upside on Bitcoin times 2x leverage. 80% on BitX. $50 price. That puts us up to potentially around 90 as the top. 80% upside right there. 90. And there you go. That's the target. If we're going up. If we crush, well, INTC. So we're coming up, here's a high, here's a low. Coming up into that resistance where we found a little issue before. I would expect 51 to be another resistance, and we may, if we get up there, we're going to see a significant retrace before we can go higher again. And left a gap down here, so if we retrace, we can pull it all the way back down into 25. So significant resistance getting through here. One reason why I went ahead and got off the leveraged INTW. Could I have more upside to go? Sure. Does it look like we're going to have trouble getting much higher? Yeah. And we're stalled out right here. This can easily lead to further downside. Rocket Lum is stuck at the resistance. Looking for that retrace. First move down. A, B, C. Now I played this from the high over here, low over here. I got involved right here on the breakouts above the 618 and got out right here. Made almost 13 grand right there. Doesn't take a big move. And we did until we did Rocket Lab. Moving on down, UNH. Watch out for the resistance at the roadmap line. One move up. That can be a correction on the downtrend. The bigger move coming into this downtrend. Had a move like this before. What happened? So watch out for further downside. Now, level to watch. That was cool. Here's the low. Here's the high. 618. If we can pull back into this vicinity, somewhere in here, hold, turn up, bust through the roadmap line and through these highs. Be rocket ships. Rocket ships and rainbows. I might actually buy some on a pullback. That next upside potential goes to here. Gap down resistance. You may see it pull back. Yeah, we're meeting the resistance right here already. So more of that up here. Danger zone. Danger zone. So we may see it pull back, rip through, pull back, rip through, pull back, and really go. But this could take a while. That's UNH. K-Web, not much to talk about. It's just a conglomerate of underlyings. So this move, as you might could tell, we're kind of played out here. We're not really moving. We kind of, that was the pullback. There's the advance, and we're just kind of grinding. But when you look at the bigger trend that we've had going here off of this low back here, move up, retrace, 3 waves, ABC. This is where things get spicy. That was an aggressive bullish type move with the pullbacks very fast and aggressive. Correction took a while, almost a year. Move up, retrace, move up, retrace, move up, retrace, higher low, higher low, higher low. This is winding up the spring. Now, even though they retrace, this started out with a bullish pattern intact. Continuation is up here. That's 77. Now, each one of these little moves, the higher low, has a 618. And this one back here has a 618, a little higher. This one back here has a 618, a little lower. We're almost to that first one, 618, but the fact it's got nested ones, this will push probably up in here, up in here, up in here. Something like that. And then up to that one. That'll be the 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll get a 5 that goes on up even higher. So right now I'm just playing for, like, if you're following me on the trade, or you know I put a trade on this, I'm only looking for this piece right there. That's shit in a nutshell. I already did silver, ACN. That's a long-term correction. When is it done? You got me. We're down to levels that could be done, but it could push on down to 200. And that looks like a C wave that's not quite done yet. See how this was pretty fast. This was like slow and nasty. And this sped up even faster than this one over here. Probably a correction, probably going down here to 200 before we can wrap that up. All right, Apple. I cover this every morning, so resistance, support. Come see me in the morning. Google, cover that every morning. And I don't have that chart drawn properly. Resistance and support. And Jumanji. Looks like we're going down. And I think Cody. Cody. That's going lower, more than likely. Might go out of business. Palladium. So a little bit not as clear as PPLT. But 135 potential on palladium. MP materials, I already covered that, but back to the roadmap line. PSX. And back to the roadmap line. We're struggling here at the 618, where it's been kind of the back to that flip point thing I talked about a while back. All these highs. Watch out for that to reject again and then push through. And then back test again and then push on higher. 191, but what time frame? Could be a couple years to get there. TMC, the metals company, didn't hit the roadmap line, so this gives me caution since we stopped at the 618. Then we may come down for another move. First move down, retrace. Next move down, right there. And you'd be like, JT's a chart whisperer. How does he know? It's always a 618. I've done this. I charted 40,000 charts in 2024, and I'm probably going to beat that in 2025. So you can think about it. If you see something 40,000 times, sometimes you get used to it. So PRIM, I already did that one, but at the targets, watch for the retrace. Support levels down here, breakouts, retest, roadmap line, probably come back, test that. Could get a pullback just as big as that one. We've done that size before. Oh yeah. The pullbacks are getting bigger. Look, that one's smaller. That one's a little bigger. This one's a little bigger. So we've got a history of doing bigger and bigger pullbacks. And it can take us back down pretty viciously here. All right, GE. Yeah, there's no, like, be careful on the downside because that's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous move. No pullbacks. When things do that, it just invites a bigger, nastier correction. Be careful out there. Count your save, maybe your own. I'll be back, same bat time, same bat channel, 9:15 tomorrow morning. Do it all over. Look for things moving, opportunities for those that I told you I'd do it at the end today. Here's the ones that set up for an entry today. Here's the high, here's the low. There's the target, 38. DDOG. Here's the high, here's the low. Already drawn on there. There's the entry, 163. HIMS. And I went through the bigger picture earlier, but here's the high, here's the low. 75 target. LINC. Here's the high, here's the low. There's the entry, 2696 target. UTI. Here's the high, here's the low. Here's the entry, 3840. WTRG. Here's the high, here's the low. Ooh, that was a big candle toward the target, 40. And for anybody that doesn't believe this works out, or you have trouble believing how it works, here's the one I was in back here. This fired off, came up shy of my target, pulled back to the roadmap line, and just hit the target right up there. Out at 112.50. Out right there. I was in back here. In it from May until September. Another one I played right here. There was the high. Here was the low. Entry fired off back here. Wherever it was. I don't remember. And this one just closed out to... maybe that wasn't the right one. That's not the right one. I'm typing something wrong. Or maybe... it's the wrong one. What was the ticker? I don't remember the ticker. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. I'll pull up the ticker. Ah, find it. To roll back a few trades. SCI. Had them in the wrong order. Right letters, wrong order. SCI. Whoops. Delete that message. There it is. There it is. This one happened faster. So this play right here. That bounce. That target. Is that right? SCI. I pulled the wrong one. It was the wrong one. Finally the right one. Hate these, like, pull up the international ones over the US ones. There it is. That was it. I was like, that's the wrong numbers. 80. Entry was right back here, and there's the target. Why did I do that one? Check this out. Here's the statistics. 42 trades. 90% chance of this working out. Profit factor 2.3. High probability. Now, this is still in a trade from back here, further back. I got into this one and out of this one. But it's already in this one back here with a target on up here. Up at 84. Why didn't you hang on? Got my money. I did this trade inside. Right there. The target up there, 84.15. It'll probably still work out. You know, 90%. This one usually trends. Got 42 trades in the history, so typically that trends. That's statistically significant. Have a great day, everybody. See you in the morning.